Welcome back. In the past few lessons, we saw a lot of SQL commands. We saw the command to create tables, the command to put data into the tables, and the commands to update and delete the data in the tables. Now it's on to what I personally think is the most fun of all the SQL commands, the SQL query. This is the query or the SQL command that gets the data out of the database in helpful ways. After today's lesson, you will be able to write a SQL query to get data out of the database. You will also see how the data will appear after it is extracted from the database. So a SQL query is the command that you will use to get data out. Sometimes a query is called the select statement. Now we kind of whiz through the other SQL commands, but we are going to spend the most time with the SQL query so you really understand how it works and how you can write them with ease. Just like the other SQL commands, a query is just certain words put together in a certain way. A query will start off with the word select. This is followed by the columns of data you want to return. After the select section comes the from section. This is followed by the tables where the database should look for your columns. Remember, there are a lot of tables in a relational database, and sometimes the column names are the same in multiple tables. So you need to give the database some directions on where to look here. Note, sometimes instead of section, I may use the word clause when talking about the select section or the from section. It means the same thing as section. We mentioned what a result set is earlier, but we'll go over it again because we'll use the term quite a bit throughout the course. A result set is what is returned after a SQL query is submitted. It is the column names followed by the rows of data that the query requested. So like Kathy, Inga, and Manny, you could enter Fairy SQL and click on Select Schema. Cinderella 1 is the schema that has all of the tables Kathy created, and now it also has that data that Inga inserted into it. You could view all of the tables and their relationships, just like the rest of the group, and then you would click on New Command to enter in your SQL statements. On the screen, you would enter words like select and from and hit submit. As long as you use the right syntax and punctuation and keywords, the database would bring back data, or the result set as we now call it. So let's take a closer look at the SQL query. You would start with the word select, followed by the column names you want to bring back, followed by the word from, followed by the table name where the columns live. So let's pretend we wanted a report or a result set filled with subject's first name, last name, and their tagline. You could simply enter these words into the database. Select first name, comma, last name, comma, tagline, from, subjects. And then hit submit, and then we have results. We are viewing data that lives in the subject table. Note that Cinderella has way more than 4 subjects. However, Fairy SQL can only display a limited amount of rows at a time, but the whole report could be exported out into Excel if needed. Now say you wanted to return absolutely every single piece of data for every single column from the subjects table. You could either list out each column name in the select statement, so select subject ID, first name, last name, DOB, gender, marital status, tagline, address, active subject, from subjects, or you could use a special keyword that the database recognizes. If you say select star from a table, it will bring back absolutely every row of data for every column in the table. Now your result set would include every column from the table and every single row of data in the table. So now we learned the structure for the SQL query and how the data will be displayed in a result set after the query is submitted. It is now time for a quick activity, and then come on back when we introduce the most fabulous program around, Princessware.